The beef is real. It's Sean O'Brien versus Warren Gatland, and this has been brewing for quite a while. So if Joe Schmidt is watching this, and I know he probably is, come on, give us what we want. Put Sean O'Brien in the team for the weekend. Let's go all the way back to Sean O'Brien and Oisin Langan. This was a Bank of Ireland launch in Tulla Rugby Club. There wasn't very many people there. It was kind of a very relaxed environment. Sean O'Brien let the guard down. Here's what he told Oisin Langan way back in 2017. Have a look.
To be honest, I'd be pretty critical of it because I think we probably should have won the tour, and we probably should have won it comfortably enough. I think there's a lot of learnings to take from the tour in terms of the coaching setup as well, and from a players' point of view of how we dealt with things. But yeah, it's a weird one, I suppose. Drawing a series, we got caught a little bit the first day with a different game plan. They came at us with a different game plan and changed it up a lot, and we were lucky the second day probably to get the win when you look at it, because our discipline was so poor. But we had fought so hard in that game and put ourselves in good positions at time. We probably didn't finish off a few scores that day, but then the third day, it could have went either way at the end, and kind of a decision went our way. But you make your own luck in those situations. But I think looking back, probably a bit of frustration that we didn't get it right, over the whole duration of the tour. But tough place to go and get a result, obviously. And I think before the tour, if you had asked anyone, that said that the All Blacks would probably wipe us, So we can be proud of some of the performances we put in. But I think as a player, it's one that probably got away from us. Yeah, well, I think the first week we definitely overtrained on the Thursday. And maybe the coaches were maybe panicking a little bit about getting the information into us and workload, and I think we've done nearly the similar thing on the last week. So maybe it's more of a coaching point of view in terms of taking lessons. Maybe less is more sometimes on a tour like that.
Okay, so that was what Sean O'Brien said, and it kind of exploded a little bit. It seemed very straightforward. Here is Brian O'Driscoll talking about it a few days later. Here he is in the studio. We got his take. You mentioned Sean O'Brien there. A bit in the news recently. We haven't talked to you since he named names.
Yeah.
It's very unusual for anybody to name names and single out individuals.
It is. It's not really the done thing. I suppose two things. I think you don't want to shy away from players and having a good level of honesty, because we give out about them being dull and offering nothing from a soundbite point of view. And I was very much part of that crew, because you represent a team and you don't want to give anyone opportunity to come back at you. So for him, his honesty in doing that, I applaud him. At the same time, what was in it from a selfish point of view? What was in it for Sean O'Brien? I don't know what win he gets out of that. There's nothing other than antagonising the coaches that were involved. He could have privately said those things and gotten, and aired his grievances to the management, to the Lions board or whatever on the QT, and the point would still have been, would it still hit home. But to do it publicly, he's drawn all this heat on himself. He's, now persona non grata in Wales because he's had a go at their head coach and Rob Howley. He's probably created an awkward situation anytime he bumps into either those two coaches going forward, of which will happen regularly.
Yeah.
So
it's going to happen on the field as well.
I just don't see where the win in all of that is. I suppose the speed at which it moved is a credit to the interviewer and the station that managed to get the interview, because lots of people picked up on it immediately. And I was kind of wondering when he did this interview, having seen articles written later on that evening, and it was just off the back of the show coming out at 7:00 and off the ball, and the next thing, an hour and a half later, so the English writers were on it, and they were the Telegraph, and they were. I suppose there were strong quotes as well. It wasn't as though he sugarcoated them.
Yeah, so we should specify, of course, that Sean O'Brien issued a statement on Twitter. We've got that for you now. To be clear, My views on the Lions tour were honest and genuine and solely with the intention of building on what was a great tour. Unfortunately, some people have focused on what I feel we could have done better instead of what we did well. I have nothing but respect for Warren and the whole coaching team in addition to the rest of the backroom staff and squad of players. But I do believe we, the players and coaches, could have done better. Yes. Do I believe we could have won the series? Yes. Do I believe the Lions squad in 2021 will be better for this? Yes. If we don't look to build on and improve the tour to New Zealand, how can future Lions squads get better? It is a privilege and an honour to be called a British and Irish Lion, and I hope that this clarifies my position once and for all. He's doubling down. Good man, Sean O'Brien. He's doubling down. He's not having any of that nonsense. It's like, yeah, I asked those questions. I stand over it. I'm a winner. I'm Sean O'Brien. He's like, come on. I fully agree with that. Yeah. But the beef is real, it turns out. Because, Warren Gatland's a man who likes to wait a little bit and give his opinion. We'll get that in a minute. Brian O'Driscoll mentioned there about how it went around the world. Here's some headlines for you. Sean O'Brien slams in capital letters, in case you don't understand what the word slams means. Slams Warren Gatland for Lions tour training. We should have won 3-0. It's a big story in New Zealand as well. Lions flanker, we should have beaten All Blacks comfortably, in inverted commas. Sean O'Brien, I respect Warren Gatland, but the Lions could still have done better in New Zealand. The second one was from the New Zealand Herald. And then Warren Gatland continues war of words with Sean O'Brien over Lions. He lost his credibility, is what Warren Gatland said. It rolled on and on and on and on. Until a few months later, we got the opportunity to sit down with Warren Gatland and do a career retrospective. Part of the Heineken Road shows. A brilliant guest, in fairness to Warren Gatland, a really brilliant guest, and he didn't row back on any of his stuff, and it turned out he'd done some research on how often Sean O'Brien had won games against Warren Gatland coach teams. Have a look.
We had a good chat, and like I said, I don't have any problems with him. I just thought there was a better forum for him to address it than that.
You might be sending your Big 12 down the number 7 channel in the Six Nations for the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the ironic thing is that kind of if you're going to come out and be critical, then you've got to back it up with other things. So I went and had a look and went, okay, I've been with Wales for 10 years, and I'm thinking, okay, so in that 10 years, so Sean didn't play in the game in Chicago, where Ireland beat the All Blacks. And in that 10-year period, I know he's had a few injuries. He's only ever played on one Irish team that beat Wales. So to me, you've got to have a little bit of a better record than that.
The beef is real.
So I'm just saying. You've got to. I don't think that's kind of like me just going back and going. If you're going to be critical, then you've got to make sure you've got something to back it up with, don't you?
Does it add a little bit of spice for the game, or are they two very separate entities?
For the Six Nations?
For the Six Nations, yeah, for the Ireland game.
Probably.
We've been denied the opportunity to see what would happen when Sean O'Brien went against Warren Gatland ever since. But no longer. Apparently today, it's going to be a team announcement, which includes Sean O'Brien in the team. Come on, Joe Schmidt, come on. Name the team. Put Sean O'Brien in. Put him in. Here's Gatland coming around to eventually saying that he hated coaching the Lions and vowing never to do it again. Admits he hated the Lions tour after criticism of Sean O'Brien. He vows never to coach them again. O'Brien criticised Warren Gatland. This is the Daily Mail. He vowed never to coach the Lions again, as he admitted he hated the Lions tour after criticism from Sean O'Brien. So Sean O'Brien actually did Warren Gatland a favour by telling them, you didn't really enjoy this. And then Warren Gatland has had informal conversations over coaching the 2021 British and Irish Lions to South Africa. It's going to be, his third time round. So he changed his mind. Things change. People move on.
I hope not.